Gas prices go up, they go down, and for those prices, we should always be able to just trust that it's safe, right?
The full tank of water in my fuel tank.
They couldn't even smell gas in my tank, it was that bad.
A little bit here at the top, the rest of it was all water.
Pretty much bad gas.
And over the years, we keep hearing the same thing from some of the same people. The law doesn't allow them to check for quality.
It's a no-brainer.
There's a line right here where the water and the gas separates, and the top line above is the actual gas itself, and all of this is water.
His mechanic says his fuel tank was full of water.
This could happen to anybody. I didn't think this was gonna ever happen to me, especially with a brand new car.
Corbin Vogt says his car stopped running shortly after getting gas at the Sunoco gas station. The repairs cost more than $1,100. He reported it to the Hamilton County Auditor's office and found he wasn't alone. Eden Powell says she spent more than $900 on car repairs after getting gas at the same place.
Friday morning, I started up my car. All of the service lights started flashing and started coming on. The engine was running really rough. The car was almost shuddering in a way.
Tom Woods with the auditor's office says he got 4 complaints.
The complaints that we got were that there was water in their fuel. We cannot verify that in any way because there's no way for us to test for that.
No way for them to test that because Ohio is one of only 3 states without a fuel quality program.
I'm allowed to test for volume, so we can verify that you're getting 5 gallons of gas, but we can't verify what you're getting.
A bill was introduced in 2021, which, if passed, would have allowed counties to implement a fuel quality testing program. It never made it out of committee.
When there's no accountability, you don't know what you're getting.
He says this bipartisan issue has been discussed numerous times.
Now here's the crazy thing. I went into our station's archives and found this from 2001. It's the same problem. Watch this.
When you buy gas, you expect to get what you pay for in both quantity and quality. But in Ohio, the law allows quantity inspections only. County auditors check weights and measures to make sure a gallon on the meter is really a gallon in the tank. But as for quality,
Ford Escort, new fuel pump, fuel injectors, pressure regulator, $1,030.
Butler County Auditor Kay Rogers has gotten some 30 complaints the past 2 weeks from people alleging bad gasoline, gas with water in it, or improper octane. And Butler County is not alone. County Auditor Rogers is taking complaints on her website and by phone.
We've had some cases where drivers for some of the fuel companies have actually said that they were told and instructed to do it.
Now, you might think that all of the complaints come from people who are driving around 15-year-old clunkers which were ready to fall apart anyway. But that's not the case.
No, because we've got some very, very expensive cars that are in here. We had a Jaguar, some Cadillacs.
Gas station owner Robert Day says he'd welcome state inspections to confirm what he already does.
My company has a lab truck that comes to my location twice a year, unannounced.
Day also checks those tanks daily, putting a white chemical on the end of a stick. If that chemical comes back out still white, there's no water in the tanks, and today, as you saw, it was fine. Day then showed us with a bucket what happens if there is water. The chemical on the stick turns red. Meantime, Kay Rogers wants to make sure motorists do not turn red with anger if their gas is bad. But as of now, the law won't let her.
You may have bad gas. And year?
Turned out it was actually the gas.
This is a fuel sample of what the mechanics took from his gas tank.
After year?
I feel like there's a lot of water here, and that's going right through my motor.
After year?
A mechanic had called me and told me on this past Tuesday that my car had water in the tank.
This just keeps happening. Our chief investigative reporter, Dwayne Pullman, went in and checked out what was happening.
In Ohio, filling up is an act of faith. That's because Ohio is one of just 3 states that does not check the quality of the gasoline at its stations.
If there's bad fuel floating around, where's it likely it's going to end up? It's going to end up in Ohio.
And because there are no checks, there's no way to know if the gas you pumped is bad until it's too late.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it at all.
Darlene Howell, who lives in Liberty Township, doesn't like it because bad gas cost her a lot of money.
Almost $1,500.
The culprit? A loose cap on the underground tank allowed water to come in. Darlene's mechanic sent her this picture of what was supposed to be just gas in her tank.
It would look like a little bit here at the top, the rest of it was all water.
Darlene's car wasn't the only vehicle that got the bad gas.
It ain't even a half a mile down from where we are to the Madison Food Mart, and my truck starts spitting and sputtering.
Even a post office vehicle stopped running after filling up on that gas full of water. Butler County Auditor Roger Reynolds and many others say it happens way too much.
Sometimes they're not even able to get out of the parking lot of the gas station because the fuel quality is so poor.
And the problem is nothing new. Tom Camphouse, an inspector with the Butler County Auditor's Office,
There's no leaks inside the pump.
is required to visit every gas station.
It gets tested by the state of Ohio every 2 years.
And check every pump.
In Ohio, you're allowed plus or minus 6 cubic inches on 5 gallons.
To see if it's dispensing a true gallon.
It's good.
But Camphouse is not allowed to check for bad gas.
The law doesn't give me permission to do that.
He does have this tool called a bacon bomb
So I'm just going to drop it down.
that can quickly spot a problem.
This is searching for, pretty much bad gas.
But Camphouse, again, is not allowed to use it.
You know, it's tough because, I know that any car that pulls up here is going to spend their hard-earned money filling their tank up, and there's a good chance that they'll get water inside the tank. There's nothing I could do about it.
Butler County is pushing as hard as we can to get this legislation changed. I'm able to do this quality check, no extra cost to the taxpayer. Just give us the authority to do it.
But bills to allow counties to check the quality of gas have repeatedly failed at the State House in the past.
So the gas and oil industry itself.
That's correct.
Lobbying against this.
Right.
State Representative George Lang, a Republican from Westchester, says he's ready to try again. He's working on a bipartisan bill to authorize but not force counties to check the fuel for quality.
We've got some proposed legislation that would make it permissive for the county auditors to regulate this, to check gas for quality. And it makes sense for them to do it.
Until that happens,
I don't know, and I can't test it myself.
a question will linger for drivers
Well, I take a 50-50 chance.
about what's really flowing when you fill up.
Now I'm thinking, man, where is good gas?
I reached out to the association that represents the gas stations, the Ohio Petroleum Marketers and Convenience Store Owners. The president and CEO tells me the group remains opposed to quality testing in Ohio because she says the industry has specially trained inspectors who already test the fuel, and that government testing would simply duplicate that.
Okay, so we're just stuck on a treadmill here, I guess. The lawmakers introduce a bill, the lobbyists hop in, and then what? It just disappears.
How many times are we going to continue to keep revisiting this same problem, and there's never been a solution to the problem?
Meanwhile, people like us are just left footing the bill.
I don't want to pay this when I don't have to, when it ain't my fault.
But luckily, a couple of the gas station owners made it right.
Corbin paid $1,200 in damages and wasn't sure he'd get that money back.
There was no way to actually prove that that gas station was the one that sold me the water.
Corbin says the gas station owner did the right thing and paid him back for the damages. Now he hopes his misfortune helps others.
So what can we do? Well, one thing you can do is leave a comment, of course, share this video, and click subscribe, or go to local12.com to see what the rest of the team is working on.